next thing is,
At our next meeting on November the 14th, we will need to have a redevelopment commission meeting at 6 p.m.
Okay.
to organize, a president and a secretary. And also establish the TIF district boundaries, and also adopt a declaratory resolution. And Jim Higgins will be present at this meeting. He will be the one that will administrate this, putting this together for us. Any questions? Comments?
Don't have anything.
what's the purpose of this?
If I can, I don't know what,
If I can, or you
go
can.
ahead, Robin, she knows it
The
better
TIF
than I.
district, it will, we haven't set out the area, but it will be the Main Street area. And what that does is, as properties are being developed and improved, the property taxes are gonna go up. And it captures just that increase, and you can use it specifically for the area that you have established.
So you mean everybody's
So-
taxes on Main Street are gonna go up?
No, no, it means, okay, let's use the Nelsons as an example. They are making improvements to buildings on Main Street, so their property values are gonna go up. And they're gonna be paying their property taxes anyway. The town will still receive their portion of the property taxes that they've always paid. But that increase that they pay will go to the TIF district. So.
To the town.
So, yeah, the town TIF district, so it can only be used for the area that is designated.
It's an incremental increase to benefit the area that the increases are coming to. Taxes and keep it here, that's
Yeah,
it.
stays here and you can spend it to improve the area that it came from.
Put it
Absolutely.
back where it came from.
Okay, any other questions on that? All right, we'll move on. Our next order of business is discussion regarding the Orange contract. At our last meeting, we voted to terminate the contract with Orange, give them their 90-day notice. We've since received a letter from their attorney about this termination. And I trust that you read that this evening. Everyone read that?
Yep.
Ted, why did you decide to terminate, I guess is my question.
There's been some issues ongoing.
Is there issues that we can't sit down and work out?
No, I don't think so, Francis.
But so if we don't renew, then what's your outlook to do with them? I mean, are we just gonna let them set and go back down again?
That's a good question.
There's a lot of
They put a lot of work into it. It was built for kids to use, and it was being used that. I went down and watched a couple of games. It was being, the parents were good, the coaches were good with the kids. I understand that there's problems between the adults, but at the end, the kids are the ones that are being hurt. We built those fields for the kids to use, for them to be used for kids. Sports isn't the way it used to be. You have to have travel leagues now in order to keep, because the middle school our school system can't support middle school teams or certain teams. There's not enough kids to support certain teams. So, and there's kids that like baseball, okay? So in order to keep their skills up for the high school level and college level, they have to go to travel. I mean, my boys had to play travel. They played travel baseball after they finished here. They played travel basketball. This gives them some place to play. So we're not hurting the adults, we're hurting the kids, which the diamond was built for.
Yeah.
That's what we built it for. That's what we worked. Neela worked for, the Stones, my husband, and I worked in there for years. Bob Cook, the
Everybody
Wallaces, the Stairs, the Shirks, the Robies. We worked our butts off down there to keep it and make it look nice. It hasn't looked this nice since Terry and Rick Pfeiffer left office.
Have you been up there?
Yes, I went to a couple of the games.
Have you seen the dugouts?
That should have been inspected before they ever got it.
It was.
It was.
It was before they put it on
Then
there.
that- the line
And
we
there's
saw
nails
it.
sticking out.
We
of
did,
the
we tried
They were
to.
notified
That
of
should be
nails.
fixed.
There-
Okay, instead, everyone
Backstop's
is.
about to fall down.
I know, but everyone, it's their first time, they're trying to do things, they're trying to make improvements. So instead of everybody ganging up on everybody,
Well, I'm
them
tired
and
of
you
hearing all
guys.
this stuff.
Hang on, let me.
I'm not saying that you guys are toe, I'm saying both of
Okay,
you
what the
guilty.
town needs to understand before you go any further, okay? I understand people's point of view, and I respect everybody's point of view. But I think the one thing that's not getting said here is people in this town and the people who are associated with that ball diamond have heard one outlook, and that's from oranges.
No, it
Okay,
is
let me-
not,
let me
that's the reason
finish.
why I'm here tonight.
Okay, now
To
if
get
people
your
had
outlook.
been coming to town board meetings the past 6 months, they would have understood that the biggest reason why we had trouble with Orange up there is their neglect to do proper things in the contract. We gave them a 3-year contract for $1, okay? We give them free water. We cut their grass. We've done a lot of things this town has done. We invested $10,000 of the town's money in that ball diamond.
I'm not saying
Okay,
you
now let
haven't
me
toe.
finish. When they come in there, they done things without asking. They were told they were doing things wrong, they were not building up to code, and they totally ignored it. You can't put a building up that's not, and then put kids in it that's not up to code. You're opening the door for a lawsuit as soon as that kid gets hurt.
Okay, let's,
Okay, and let me answer one more question. One thing that I think what you're more concerned with is the kids playing.
yes.
The kids playing up there are a travel team, okay? Now, let me finish. And I don't have any problems with that. I don't care who plays up there and who don't play. But I know it's not a recreational team. There's not a kid here in this town. It's not a recreational team.
But they can go down and try out. They
And-
can try out.
Well, they got
Try out.
$600.
But we don't have any
You got
kids that
$600 to go over there and
Do
try out?
you
They
know
would
how,
never-
It does not matter.
do you know how
Oh,
much
yeah,
it
it
is
does
to
too.
play
Right.
at Hamilton Heights?
That's
you
not
know?
my point.
I do know. But they can go down there and try out.
Well,
It
which
doesn't
one's
mean
trying
that-
out?
It's not, it doesn't mean that they won't make the team. It has nothing to do with them making the team. They can try out. If you want more
Okay, but
locals, then they can post more locals.
But the point I'm trying to make is, this contract wasn't dissolved because our kids didn't get a chance to play ball. The kids playing ball, whether they're a travel team or a recreation team, is not even even been mentioned. It's the fact that they have failed to provide a secure, safe ball diamond.
But who went
We
down
got-
And
and
they
looked at
didn't
the
live
code?
up to
We
their
got-
part of the diamond.
Who done the
Their
codes down
contract.
there then?
Huh?
Who went down and looked at the codes?
Building commissioner.
Everybody had.
Building
it.
Okay, I
commissioner.
understand. Okay.
Understands what?
I just don't understand how we got that far. I don't have, John.
No. Let me explain something. You guys haven't heard the whole thing.
And you're right.
No, right here is what I brought up. There are 16 different items, 17 on this list right here. They're in breach of contract. I talked to Steve Brzezinski down there in March. I called him. I made up a list of issues that were needed addressed after their last season. They took over in May of last year.
Right.
They let things go to hell down there. There was issues. I wasn't satisfied with the way things were going. I let Robin know. I sent him an email, and he wanted to know who he could talk to. And Robin told him. She called me and said, "Who do you want him to talk to? You want me to give him your phone number?" And I said, "Absolutely. I'm the one that's brought this up. I will be more than happy." I talked to him, and I addressed everything that was an issue down there, what they had let go and hadn't done. They were supposed to winterize the place and all that. The pipes frozen, busted. our guys down there fixing everything. They're supposed to take care of all this. I mean, the list goes on and on. But he come up here, that was in March, and he wants to know who he can talk to. I said, bring it to the board. He comes up to the board, and instead of bringing up what we talked about, he come up with this $100,000 presentation that they were going to do, and all this money they were going to spend and put in down there. Now, I have written this, I've given it to the town council. They're all aware of these issues down there, the breach of contract, the whole 9 yards. And the whole thing is because they don't want to do anything down there that they agreed to. The contract is pretty much what they walked into this town hall up here and they offered to this board. We will do this, we will do that, we will do this. We put it together in their language for the most part, and they have not done a damn thing. And whenever you bring it to their attention, they ignore it.
They have done things, Johnny.
No, they haven't.
No, there's
Well,
still
wait a
things to
minute.
do.
I understand.
No, you wait. That backstop, they put those banners up. It folded the top in, and they left the pipes dangling
But
up
you
there,
know
and
why?
they played something because they wanted somebody else to pay to fix it.
Because
Because
it
of
was-
You know
no
why
writing.
that backstop was bad?
Because the banners
the guy
in it.
they hired when Josh and Misty was in it went in to put cheap pipes, which is the guy that built the house down there on Central.
No, the thing
That's
about
who
it
done
was,
that.
well, I know who did it, but the thing about it was the banners had no air holes for it, and Beck's donated and sponsored, so they put Beck's banners all up there, and it
Right.
caught the wind and folded over.
That pipe
They
was
left it there though. Well, they left it there. The main backstop started
Right.
going. Instead of going ahead and taking them down, they left it as a liability for all the kids sitting out there playing ball right there. Catcher, umpire, and the whole 9 yards. Them pipes would fell loose and came on down. Hell, they could have stabbed right through somebody. They didn't go ahead and take the banners down when they were well aware of it because it was Beck's that sponsored them, and they had two on the side. They've left them up there to the point that the side ones start folding in too. So now they got them folded in. They were told not to run concrete trucks out there because the sewer's shallow. Now the concession stands, the drains don't work.
Again.
They went out there and they turned on the power after the water was shut off, and they turned the power on without turning the hot water on, or the water on, burn up the hot water elements, the heating elements in the hot
Did you
water heater.
fix the hot water heater?
We've been out there and the guys have crawled under there. Rick Pfeiffer fixed that. They said that place was abandoned and they fixed it all up. That is not true. When we got that property back from the youth
Right.
organization, I mowed it, I vacuumed it, I cleaned it up, I cleaned all the trash that was left down there. When they took it over, Rick Pfeiffer had been down there and he'd crawled underneath the concession
Oh, I
stand
know
and
you
fixed all
guys
the
went down
plumbing.
there and done it.
We got it all ready. They make it sound out that they took over this abandoned piece of shit, and it ain't the way it was.
I haven't
It
heard
was
that.
fixed up and it was nice. Your boy was down there playing on the small diamonds before this. They got contracted.
And he
to
tried,
do
and
it.
he got
And-
upset because he
and-
got lied to about a bunch of stuff.
He didn't get lied to from
Yeah,
me.
he did.
Not from me.
Not from you, but it was a mix up too, just like this.
and-
I still think that we could work something out, cause I think
But they never showed back up here after they asked them to come.
I think they're done.
repeatedly.
I think they're done.
Well,
I
the
don't
thing
know.
is, we did constantly. If they were going, it's like renting a house, okay? If you rent it to somebody and they want to paint the walls, they need to come ask you first. If they want to change this, they need to come ask you first. That was part of the stipulation of the contract. Sure, they gave us this layout, okay? But they never came every time they were going to do this thing or another. They never came to us to the meeting before to let us know this is what we're doing.
I say,
And the communication it sucked.
3
It
times.
really
it just
did.
gives us another bad eye,
Well-
black eye on it.
Well, it doesn't if we stand by and let it happen,
Well,
Greg.
it-
That's the problem, and it says right in the contract, they can't sublet. They sublet out to Noblesville and everybody else to Planet Diamond. In the contract, anybody that was down there should be covered under liability insurance, because in turn, that puts a liability on the town. We didn't get any contract. They were doing it behind our back. We didn't even know they were subletting. They did it to a concession stand workers, the same deal. No insurance, no liability, anything. Puts the town in liability position. They cut down our batting cage down there and left the pipe sticking out of the ground like this. Left the net all on there. Weeds grew up in it, and the kids were out there practicing and climbing over the top of that, playing ball. Now, if one of them had failed and ran one of the pipes through there, well, where would we have been again? Even though there's liability insurance on Orange, they'd still sued this town. That's the whole thing. And I tried to talk to that Steve Brzezinski, and he didn't want to come up here. He came up here one time after that, and he wanted to give us his $100,000 presentation. He's the one that started this
head
Orange.
honcho.
Yeah, Innovex Orange. He started it, and he came up here, and all he did was give $100,000. He put in $100,000. First they put in $25,000. Then it went to $50,000. Then it went from $50 to $75. And then he came up and said,
They were all donated.
It was all donated money, and the only thing that I seen out there is the paint, and I don't know who did the painting. The concrete was done by Elbrick Concrete out of Tipton. You know, the scoreboards that they put up and then took down were donated by IU Health, and they just took them down and left with them.
Right.
You know,
I see
we've
that.
got damage out there. I don't know how many thousands of dollars. If you go digging, contractor digging up the sewer and repairing the sewer and replacing it, replacing that backstop, the whole thing is needing replaced now. The hot water heater needs fixed. The place is filthy out there. There's mice crap in the concession stand, so it's terrible that, you know, it's going to have to need to be sterilized and cleaned and everything else where they can use it. I mean, the list just goes on and on out there, and the guys are going out there cleaning up after them. They've been piling shit around outside that back building. They've cleaned up 2 or 3 times. They've had to go out there and mow. We get a letter saying that their attorney went out and looked at this place, and it looks immaculate. Well, these guys just went out there and cleaned up after they left and walked off, and they took the scoreboards. They didn't clean nothing up or do anything. The place ain't
old ones are
winterized.
Sitting down on the ground.
Last year they were supposed to winterize it by October 15th or 30th or something.
Frozen broke again.
Frozen broke again. Our guys had to go fix them again. You know, they put a brand new toilet in the concession stand. You ought to see it. It is disgusting, and the plumbing don't even work. Everybody's hearing how great that is. You drive by, cosmetically it looks nice because they put a little fresh paint on it.
Yeah.
But everything that was done out there, as far as getting it up and going, the town of Atlanta done it. We spent over $5,000 just about in gravel out there and done the parking lots.
But we spent the
What?
money, what are we gonna do? I mean.
There is a lot of other official traveling teams and other organizations that are very interested in that. We had Robies come up here just a couple board meetings back and ask about it and what our intentions were, and you know they were wanting to do something. There's been other people that ask about it. Greg's son wanted to get involved in it last
It's
year.
gonna
There's
have to
other
be- I mean,
organizations.
I just don't want to see it said empty.
Oh, I do not either. And I
I
the
don't want to
Princess,
see it
this is
ran
what.
down like it was.
Absolutely, you know, and this is what will happen if we do not stick to our guns and make sure that whoever's going to be out there is going to do what they promise they'll do. If not, we might as well let it go. Like I said, there's unforeseen damage and stuff out there that you guys ain't even seeing and you're unaware of.
But
if we keep
in
turning
order
a
to-
blind eye, it's only going to get worse.
In order to think about, I mean, there's something to think about, why not the next one, or if you work things out with these guys or whatever, have them come up to the board meet with them once a month, make sure they're doing what you want them to do, have a year-end, season-end closing checklist, and have someone, you know.
Well, this was our first time that we actually did something like this. So we ourselves are all learning, and we've learned that our contract has to be more specific on things. And so yeah, we wanted to get a hold of. We wanted them to come up and meet with us. We want to work with them. It was great seeing kids out there playing ball. It was great. Sure, traffic, but it was wonderful seeing the
That was the only
kids
thing
out
I,
there.
yeah.
And that was another thing.
So,
I was supposed to
I
mention.
mean, I wouldn't mind
I
going
mean-
up there and doing a rec league in town.
That's what
But I need help, I would need help, because you don't have the parents in this town that wanna help.
You don't
That's
have
one
the
bad
kids.
problem.
You had to beg
You
for
don't have the
when
kids that
was
wanna
there.
play.
Well, they need to
Half
go
of
back
them.
to the school corporation where Cicero and
can try
Arcadia and
that,
all of them
but
can play together. Any
Cicero's
team they
dying
want.
down too.
You can't
You know?
there's not enough kids in this whole area that wanna play sports and to
Right.
support sports anymore.
So yeah, we're
Because,
really
and that's the
just
reason why they go travel.
sitting
They go travel to
and-
keep their skills up and to be competitive. If we didn't have the travel, then when our kids went into high school, our high school team wouldn't be competitive.
Right.
I mean,
think
you have
got-
to have-
You people aren't listening. What did Johnny just say?
What?
This board has no intention of letting that ball diamond just fall apart. This board has taken action against a travel team who refused to live up to their
A travel
contract.
organization.
Let me finish, please. I don't mean to just kind of
I
a little
know.
upset here. And they didn't fulfill their contract. They were asked many, many times to come up and talk and be reasonable, like you people were saying, let's work something out. We tried to work them out. They've been invited, they refused to come. Every member up here has been up to that ball diamond at least 2 or 3 times. Talked to Steve Bernowski and the men working out there. Couldn't get him to do nothing. And time, Steve, I was concerned about the backstop leaning like that. Steve told me, oh, I'm gonna get that fixed. That was in March. May come, June comes, still isn't fixed. And then he had a man come out, a contractor, to fix it, and Steve said it cost too much money. I said, well, I don't care how much it costs or what, but I know it's a safety hazard. That thing fall on somebody, get hurt, the town's in for a lawsuit. I looked in the dugouts. Any man in here could tell you that it's nothing to roof a slanted roof. I mean, but when you drive nails through there and this much of the nails sticking out of the roof, and then kids jump out, you're gonna put that much in a kid's head. Now, as much as I like to, wait a minute, finish, as much as I like for the kid to play, I don't want to be on a lawsuit because some kid's got brain damage.
And I
These are little things that Orange was asked to do, was requested to do, asked to do, and told to do, and they refused.
And
So what does that leave us? Where does that leave us?
I'm not saying that I want you to kiss their butts, Tobin. I'm not coming up here accusing you of anything.
I know you're
I
not.
asked just what the status was and gave you my opinion that I didn't want to see it like it was.
okay.
It's not going to be like it was.
And then that's all I asked for, Tob.
That's-
But it's not.
But it's got to be fixed.
I didn't come up here to
Yeah.
accuse any of you. I know all of you.
I know.
But I'm not up here to accuse any of you that you're not doing your job or you're not looking out for the town. I wanted to know the status. I got the tip. I got both sides.
I myself would like to have them come up to our next meeting, attorneys,
They're
both
bored.
attorneys present,
Their board, their
and their
decision-making
board
board.
to talk.
I think that's a good thing to start.
Because yeah, I enjoyed seeing the kids,
I'm going to
but
tell you
I
right
agree
now,
with
there's not going
everybody.
to be, as far as I'm
Safety
concerned,
with
I'm not
the
getting with
kids.
these people. It's a done deal. It's been, and it was voted on by 5 board members. Every one of us said, yes, we want them out of here. That's a done deal. Now, if another team wants
That's
to
all I
come
wanted
in,
about big house.
And I agree with Toby. We've already voted, and, you know, we tried to get them up here, and they didn't want to come whenever they had the opportunity. You know, there's been statements made and stuff that are not true on their behalf.
Yes,
And
there's
there's
a lot.
documentation and different things that I'm not very satisfied or happy with from them whenever what they're saying is false accusations against the town. And I can prove it.
So what are
And-
their attorneys saying to the town of Atlanta, that because you broke the contract, that now you're liable for the expense of what?
Possibly, yes.
It says
Okay.
possibly, it says that,
And if I can speak here, I've sat here and kept my mouth shut, but I will. Jody, I agree with you, and I know John and Toby, you guys don't. But I would like nothing more than to sit down and try to work something out with this group. I know there's issues, there's problems,
We're gonna,
but there's,
go ahead.
I don't know, I think there's a chance that those can be worked out. Now, I know we voted,
We can vote again.
there was a motion made and a motion seconded to terminate the contract. I know I said yay, or I went along with that.
I did too.
I regret that. I'll say that tonight, I'm speaking from my heart. I've heard some of you townsfolk speak tonight too. And I would like to work something out with them.
It
Not at
looks
all.
like
I know
they're
you
amenable
don't.
to a revised contract. It looks like they are amenable to a revised contract.
Pam, how long we been working on this? I brought
We
that
have
up here in
never,
March.
their board has never met with our board. They cannot make decisions where,
I put together, I requested that we revise that contract clear back at the first of the year, and I give everyone a meeting, I requested everybody's input, I put my input out there,
Yeah.
I asked for
and the
everybody,
day that
and
he
nobody
brought the
done nothing.
contract and made 2 little revisions on it, it had to be tabled again for the next session. We couldn't move forward with it, John.
Because nobody would put any input in
You
it
were
other
the
than
one
me.
that said to table it.
Because no one's input
We
was
were
on the line.
ready. We were ready at that meeting to address those issues.
But who says they're gonna show up now? Just
Well,
like
and if
that.
if they don't, then let's
Yeah.
wash our
No,
hands.
I'm
But
just saying, if they don't, I mean, is this another blow in the wind thing? I mean, I don't.
Do we
I'm not
wanna-
money. I don't trust them.
do we want to be in the ballpark business?
It's town property business, it ain't
Okay,
ballpark
okay,
business,
so
and
we're
it's
gonna
the
pay
difference.
for it no matter who has it. The damages are all gonna end up on us.
We are now.
Okay, so
We are now.
That's why they have.
any
insurance
rec
for
league that
damages
comes
to
in
your
here
damage.
is gonna have some deep pockets, because we cannot just let it go to somebody who has absolutely no funds to keep it up and work on it at all. It's impossible.
And nobody is saying to give it to anybody that doesn't have the funds. That's part of going through the process of taking applications and seeing who's interested. And there's a lot of organizations out there that are dying for a field to play on. It's not gonna sit out there bare bones empty, because there's a lot of people that want
But
that
it did
field.
for 4 years.
Yeah, it did.
It's because it was a youth organization. It was not the town's property, and nobody cared because everybody had lost interest. Nobody wanted to volunteer to participate in there no more.
Okay, here's the thing. We
Do
have
you
a
know
letter
groups?
from the
Because
lawyer.
Remember when we tried to solicit groups? I mean, do you know for a fact that they're, I mean, I'm not
Yes.
opposed to that at all.
Yes.
But I remember when we tried to get groups up here and nobody wanted anything to do with it.
Yep.
Did church leagues used to play there on Sundays?
We used to have a men's
Men's,
softball league.
men's and
And
co-eds.
Chubby and Rick Pfeiffer, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
And-
but again, the men's softball leagues aren't existing anymore. You're not playing to get,
I'm
you're
not talking
wanting to
about
go
men's.
back, you're wanting to go back 20 years, Johnny, and it's not like that
I'm not saying
anymore.
that. I'm talking about other organizations, whether it's traveling or not. I'm not saying go back 20 years ago. I'm saying get somebody out there that will be responsible and follow. I can't stand a damn liar and these guys are nothing but a bunch of damn liars.
You know,
Alright, here's the problem. All we hear is from one side, and that's the CEO. We have a lawyer here from their attorney. If our attorney gets a hold of theirs and says the council want to meet the board, not just one person. That's always been the problem. We have one council member out there who talks to one person of their board. They never come here, and everybody hears hearsay. Okay, yes, there's a lot of things under the table that you town folks don't know about. But I think because of the kids, we need to sit down and work this out. Yes, how hard is it to run a 1x and put plywood underneath to cover up the nails that are sticking out to help protect the kids, okay? On the dugouts. I know there's other stuff that needs to be done on the dugouts too. But if we sit down and work it out, because yes, this organization, they're not that old either. They're new too. So we need to work it out. We need to learn, because the kids need a place to play.
the Roach guy that's on there, his dad played ball with Chuck for years. I know him, he knows baseball. He's a good guy, I know that he will listen.
Chris, let me say this in response to where you're coming from, and I respect you and what you're saying, and all you ladies, and there's a lot of people in this town I don't even know that's put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears in that ball diamond years ago. I know it's been, and some of them are still sitting here. A lot of money, people's put personal money in that place up there, and all I want you to understand is, from my point of view as a board member up here, I do not have any intentions of destroying any of that. I was hoping Orange would come in here. It was a great thing. I was hoping it would really blossom, but my main concern is to protect town property, to make sure everything's up to code. And I'm not gonna let somebody come in here and put a coat of fresh paint on a house that's got termites in it. If you understand what I'm saying.
Yes, I understand.
Okay? If this has got termites in it, a fresh coat of paint, it's gonna look pretty from the road, but you come up here and try to drive something and then put a picture, and it's gonna be a hole in the wall. I wanna fix that ball diamond up there. Or I wanna get someone in here who will. Let's get it done and get it done right. Let's fix the nails, let's bring the things up to code. Orange was not fulfilling their part of the contract. Now they went out here and they've told people this and they've told people that, and Atlanta done this. I don't care what they say. But all I'm saying is, tonight I've seen some few people here. One just got up and walked out the door. That's never been in this meeting since I've been on this board.
And
And
Robin
now I'm not
knows,
talking about, I'm just simply saying, I want you to understand
and I read
that I'm
all the
up
board
here
meetings,
to,
I read all the minutes. Robin
I'm
knows
not
that if she
arguing about
needs
that,
anything
Princess.
from me for
Well,
this town,
shit, you're
how
just
many
wanting to
times have you
argue
called me,
now.
Robin?
We depend on you, Princess. We appreciate
I
it.
just told you that our intent is to fix that ball diamond, but we want it fixed properly.
All right,
And I want
understand
people
that.
up here who's gonna do that. Whether it's a rec team or a travel team, I can care
I'm
less.
sorry, I'm with Fred, I'm with
Yes,
Jody,
Fred.
and I'm with Pam.
And
Fred?
I think that their point is a good one, that you should give it one more shot. You wanna be the guys that extended the olive branch. Let them walk away, then it's on them.
And if they don't,
But
then.
to your point, you need to get their whole board. They only have one guy representing them that obviously has proven to not be trustworthy. So if their entire board were willing to meet with you and find out the facts.
Well, why wasn't their entire board ever have any communication with us when we told them we were gonna ask them to?
So that sounds
Where
to
was
me
the
like they're
board
not a very
then?
functional
Maybe it
board
wasn't
if they can't even get together and know
Well-
what's going on out there with all the issues that's been brought up over almost 9 months. And then we get this letter here, and Fred, I got this question for you. Is this referring to you on the second page of this letter, where it says it appears that the town board was misrepresented in so much as one of its members perpetrating to be acting for the board, when in fact the remaining board members were unaware of correspondence written and verbal? Is he referring to you over that? Because I've never given him anything written. I've never talked to anybody other than Steve Brzezinski on that phone call. Now, what the hell are they getting to? You know, to me, they're sitting there making stuff up. You know, I don't know that you've ever talked to them, and what you have, as far as I know, you've always told us about. So I don't know what that's about, misrepresenting this board and keeping information from us. And
That's
giving them
why
red
I
stuff.
think we need to get a hold of this lawyer and tell him we need to meet with their board
And councils.
and all of us,
And councils.
because
When you get a
this
letter-
is hearsay that this lawyer is writing to our lawyer in regards to the letter that we
He's
wrote.
writing it from Steve Brzezinski. That's Steve's the one who's told him this. And then we
And
get
like
this,
I
what
said,
about
it's
this letter
hearsay.
where we got from Steve Brzezinski that I gave you, that's calling us a bunch of liars and saying that we are nitpicking?
That's
and-
why we need to have a discussion with his board where he's included.
Well, how many times you need
so
to hear
we can
it?
talk to
We've
it.
never had their whole board up
We
here.
never had the entire board up here. We only had Steve and one other person. And it was always a different person. We need the whole board so they get all the information too.
Well, I
Because
figure
they
if
only
you can't
hear
get the
what's.
president of the board up here, how you gonna get the other members up here?
Well, you know, and since
And you
he's
know what?
saying all
They
this
never
stuff.
missed one ball game out there. When the ball game was scheduled, they was all there.
Well,
At
not.
least it looks like you guys
all
are
of
trying.
We
I
have
agree
been
with
trying.
Jody.
Oh.
Try this, and if they don't,
If they don't
then
show
we're
up,
done.
then fine. We're not gonna renew it. We're not gonna work it out. We're
We'll move on. We'll move on.
right. We're learning. We're learning, but we love to have the kids up there
They're
playing.
learning, you're learning,
There's
it's
something
double.
to said for a bird in the
They're
hand.
learning too.
If you could get them to a point where they would be compliant, take John's list, incorporate them into a revised contract, say that you have, target dates by which you have to complete these things. You've got the winter now, you can't
No
open your
more.
season until these 7 things are done, and then after the season, you have to do these things, and then the close of next season, this must be done and approved by Andy, or, someone must
You can cut me out
inspect.
of this crap. I'm telling you right
But-
here now. If you keep these idiots,
All
you
I'm
take my
asking you
name
is,
out of that
that
contract.
didn't work
I
with
want
the first
nothing to do with it.
And we
Sick of
revised it, and the board still didn't come in. That's two.
We've never revised it. We've
And
never
now,
voted on a revised
They were notified they
contract.
were gonna be revised, and during that time, I personally have asked Steve Bernansky 3 times at the ball line to come to a meeting. He refused all 3, and I'm sure other people have asked him. Now, I'm just asking you, what makes you think the board, are gonna come up here and be willing to make
Well-
things right again when they wouldn't the first time?
I guess my question is, does the board know that they were invited here?
Probably
Or did
not.
everything go through Steve Brzezinski?
He's the
Because if-
president.
If he never passed the information along, they're working in the dark. So
That's
they've
why-
got a bunch of people that are interested in this that are not getting facts from him either. So, they may need you to help them open their eyes to perhaps replace him as a disingenuous party. They may be operating in good faith, but he's
His
not.
company
Well,
started.
I've got an email right
That's
here,
gonna
I'd like for you to read after this meeting's over, and then I want you to give me an answer as to And this was sent out to all his board members and all the people participating in his traveling team. After they read that, I wanna know why they didn't, if they're so concerned and are willing to work things out, why didn't anybody get a phone call from up here?
You know, this letter was sent out to all the coaches and
All the coaches.
family, the parents and the kids and everything else. And it was from Steve Brzezinski.
But if they're taking it at face value, then they're not doing it.
Right, they're taking
But
it from
he's the
his
person
word, but
they
not
know.
us.
He's the person they know, so they're taking his side, if you will. They don't know all the facts. I mean, I don't know who his board members are. I don't know if anyone here has any connection to any of his board members.
And that's why if it goes
I'll say
to the
this, one of
lawyer.
their board members is one of the people that's supposed to be taking care of all the building out there. I have met with him multiple times, had phone conversations with him, have been very specific on what needs to be fixed and how it needs to be fixed, and I even went to this on the dugouts. I took time on my own time to do the research, to find out what they needed. I actually went and bought the proper anchors to show him what they needed, and they ignore it. They ignore it.
And they continue to have kids in those dugouts, and you can go
They
out there and
don't
shake
care.
those dugouts now, and those roofs will damn near fall over.
Really?
Yes,
Really?
because they won't, I mean, that's the cooperation we get. Yeah, how much further can we go out of our way to try and work with them? When you got the building commissioner, I don't know of any other, you know, I work for a municipality, and I guarantee you, the building commissioner down there, someone ain't complying, there's a stop work order on it, and they'll red tag them, and they will not go around that until they comply. He went out of his way to go get the things and even showed them the type they needed and everything, told them where to buy them and all, and they still ignore it. And they continue to just go on about their business like, I mean, it's just ongoing. That's not the only thing that they've been talked to about.
Oh, no, I know this has been very frustrating since it started.
And it's, you know.
It's not fair to put the onus and the extra work on you either, but, you know, is there an opportunity? Is it worth giving it one more shot?
Not my opinion at
What I
all
like,
whatsoever. I'd rather
The
see another
president said
organization out
it's
there.
a podunk town full of idiots. So that right there sums it up for me.
So as it's your first time experiencing travel ball, it's their first time apparently dealing with this. So, but see, the potential is there, and Hamilton Heights recognized that potential and sent players to IMAVEX to play there because it was local. I can get
I understand
emails
what you're
saying
saying,
that,
but-
so, but they saw the potential.
But you
But
have
the
to
first
understand,
year,
this
you
board,
can't- but the
listen,
first-
I
no, I
can't
was
be
talking
concerned
first.
about
Yes, he
who
was
gets to
talking.
play up there.
Enough!
She was talking.
I was talking, but it's the first year for them playing up there. They have to raise money to fix certain things, and I understand the backstop, and I get that, but it's the winter time, the spring is coming, we're raising money now to, I see you laughing, but I don't know why.
Why?
But we're
Because we've
raising
been over
money.
backwards for these guys and they won't do anything they say. They have ignored things they were supposed to do. I have gone down there and fixed shit and spent my own money out of my own pocket to fix crap down there, and they can't do the slightest thing for this town that has spent thousands and thousands of dollars down there, plus people associated with this town volunteering their time, bringing equipment down there from other municipalities to do work for them for free, and they don't care. That's why I'm laughing. I'm sick of them. They are a bunch of liars. You know, you read this, they're saying that John called a cop from out of the jurisdiction to intimidate them when they were down there just getting their stuff. They called the damn police. They are liars. And they are lying about this town council and lying about the people in this town. They don't do anything this board asks them to do.
And their organization's not new at this. They've been doing it since about 2011. So there's six have said, this new field doesn't have anything to do with it. They were playing at other fields, so the organization ought to have
It's
down
new
pat.
to have a home field. They didn't have a home field. So it is new. Just like it
Well-
is for you guys, it's new dealing with it.
Well,
As you say,
They
it's
had
I-
fields prior to this.
They've never been
they
responsible
didn't
for the
have a
maintenance.
home field. This was a home field.
They should have maintained it and show their interest in it. To me, that's the thing. They didn't show their interest in it. If they were so desperate to have their own home field, they would have taken care of it. Like I said, this contract was what they walked in here and said, we'll do this, we'll maintain that, we'll winterize that place, we'll take care of this, we'll paint, we'll maintain all the wood and repair whatever, any of the structures. It's all right in the contract. That's what they walked in here and told us. We didn't put hardly anything into that contract. This is what they volunteered themselves to do. And they won't do any of it. They won't back nothing they said. And now they're creating more damage. And our guys have been down there. They took the dirt off the field to put the sod on. They piled dirt out in the gravel. Piled it out in the practice field where the pee-wee diamond used to be. They left it and let weeds grow up on it. Our guys had to go down there and move it. Put dirt in the gravel, so the gravel had to be replaced. It just goes on and on. They cut our batting cage down without approval and left it laying out there. We had an interested party that wanted to pay $700 for that. And if they would have just asked us, like it says in the contract, they're not supposed to do any modifications, changes, or anything out there without approval of the council's knowledge first, and we vote on it and approve it. They have not done one thing. They have not come up here and got approval for any of the stuff they've done out there. And it just, you know, they're creating liability issues out there, and they're damaging our property. We're going to be the ones that's going to have to fix it. And just like right now, we give them a 90-day notice, but that backstop has been damaged all summer long. They're going to walk off and leave us holding the bag on that. And the sewer's plugged up. One of the guys out there, when I was out there, he said, "Oh, that sewer was like it ever since we've been out here." It has not been like that. The guys have been out there before they took over. They fixed the plumbing and everything. It was all working. They drove the concrete trucks over it like they were told not to do. They had ruts this deep. I went out there and looked. They've got 2 of the dugouts that they tore the siding off of clear back last year, and they're still setting the strip down. It's got a new roof on it because the town's insurance paid for it, not them.
Yep.
They didn't pay for any of the roofs out there. Yep. They took it over and they left that press box with the shingles off of it all summer and all winter long, and it leaked through the press box down inside the building and rotted flooring out and plywood and everything else. It cost a lot more money. Instead of them fixing it like they said they would. They would maintain it. They neglected to do anything out there other than put a cosmetic look to it and play ball. And they collected the money off everybody that signed up, and everybody that was out there paid approximately $725, and they had 10 or 12 teams. You figure that up. You're talking about close to $80,000, and that ain't counting what they're getting off the subletting that out to the other facilities, because they pay to get in there. And then they host a tournament, they get paid for tournaments. I know how this works. They probably are clearing over $100,000 minus their expenses for their uniforms and things. And they can't maintain what they promised they would do. We're sitting here with not the budget to be maintaining a property to let somebody else have it at our expense. And that's what's going on. And all I'm trying to do is look out for the best interest of this town. And I went to, like I said, I made the list in March, and I talked to Steve Brzezinski on the phone, and he didn't give a damn one word about what I had to say. He come up here and he give a presentation about all we're doing, all the money we put into this. I go out there and I look, and they have not been done any of their money. It's been donations and sponsors. Go out there and look at all the banners on the fence. Those are people that gave them money. All the money that they have raised from sign-up ain't including the sponsorship and all the money that people are donating them to them. You know, all the work that was done out there was by contractors that they give a sponsorship, put a banner on the fence. And these contractors are the ones that put the money in it. You know, they're sitting up there saying that we're going to get they invest $100,000, and that was his presentation with 2 new scoreboards that were pending. Where's those scoreboards? They took them. They had $12,000 on a lawnmower. It was a loaner from Mower Shop. They come and got it. They don't even have a mower out there. These guys went out and mowed it because the grass was so high just here a week ago, this past week. They left all the trash and everything around from their last ball game, left it out there. You know, that's what's going on. And nobody sees any of that. All they hear is, well, town's not going to deal with these guys, and we're running them out of town, and we're going to let this go back the way it was. That is not my intention whatsoever sitting up here. My intention is to get somebody in there that wants to play, traveling team or not. I'd like to see them coordinate it with a rec team so they could have both. But if we can't find somebody who can have rec teams, I'm all for whoever will take care of the property and maintain it and do what they say. We've had contract after contracts that's been ignored, and we're the ones paying the bill on everything that's happened. We sit up here as a board and vote, and then just because somebody comes and hears some wrong information that is not correct and don't have the facts, they want us to turn around and change our vote. And we turn around and do that. When are we going to stand our ground? I understand what you're saying, Chris. I'm not just referring to what your comments and statements are. This is what's been going on. This is not the first time that this council sat up here and voted on something, a very important issue, and then a meeting or so later, gossip out on the street or somebody got to somebody, and then we reverse, things get reversed.
I just think it's
And
worth
it's-
another shot to talk to them.
Yeah.
With their whole board, not him, that the whole, all of them have to come with their attorney, sit down and what you just said to us. And then, if they don't show up, then you've tried.
Plus
You've extended the olive branch.
Plus you got the concession stand lawsuit going on where and we've seen these emails, they sublet the concession stand out for their own gain and told the people to lie to the town.
It's supposed to be a non-profit, and they actually hired a company to sell things in there, and where they'll let their kids first play, and then they also get a percentage of what they sell. But the company else has to pay out of their pocket for the people that run the concession stand. And also that stuff, and then things came up missing, so that's,
And here's
you know,
something that's,
and they were told to tell us, oh, they're a non-profit.
they're volunteer
and
parents.
They're volunteer parents.
Here's the thing too, Princess, this is how much I trust them. Right before they did this to the sublet to this other lady that's suing them, they had Gary Rao, the former marshal, down there. He owns a business. They put him down there, and when we found out about it, we told him he couldn't be down there because he was a business. He wasn't a non-for-profit. So they get rid of Gary and then turn around not even a month later and have this lady in there. This was in March when Gary was going in, getting ready he was taking his stuff in there and starting to set up in the concession stand, and he was told that he couldn't be out there. So they said they took care of it. Then they turn around and get another lady in there that is a business. She runs a business. Not even a month later. So how are we supposed to trust them by having another meeting with them and saying, yeah, come on back in. You ain't done a damn thing you promised you were going to do. You sit and have people lie to us. I mean, it's in an email coming from Steve Brzezinski to this lady. I got the email. I seen it.
What is the dollar value of the immediate safety concerns?
The what?
The dollar amount that it would take to repair the backstop, fix
Haven't
the
got the
dugouts?
estimates. We don't have the estimates on that.
Roughly
Never-
25,000.
Okay,
The dugout's gonna be 20 grand, or I
Okay.
mean, the backstop's gonna be 20 grand.
well, have you considered renegotiating the contract and charging them amount of money and taking care of the, repairs
They're
ourselves?
supposed to have insurance for it. They damage the town's property. They should make claim against their insurance.
I know, but going forward, instead of leasing it to them for $1, as John points out, they're obviously making money off of
To make
this.
a lot of money.
They could afford
We're just
the
trying
rent
to, I gotta,
to maintain the property and have
Email for
us
you.
do it to code.
Well, Steve Brunowski told me when I went and approached him about the backstop, he said that it's gonna cost him $2,600 to fix that backstop. I'm sure you've seen this
26,000.
leaning.
26,000.
Well, he told me 2,600, that's, and I'm not a carpenter. But the point of it is, and that was around May, June, somewhere right there when it
first
happened.
spring.
And then, he said, well, I'm gonna talk to some people. He said, we got some guys on the team, whoever that is, who come put some poles in there and do all the work themselves. Another 2 or 3 weeks went by, I seen him out there again. I said, finally, he told me, he said, I'm done with it. I said, I can't get nothing done. I don't wanna go to your meetings. I don't want nothing to do with this ball diamond set play. Now, he was telling me that was a polite way of telling me, just get out here and leave me alone. I don't want to even talk to you about anything. But he's been approached. Now, my point is this. If they couldn't fix it for $2,600, if that was a true figure, they're not going to come up with $20,000.
Well, no, but what I'm saying is in response, I don't know
How
what they're-
many times
I
am
don't know
I
what
supposed
their
to
attorney-
ask them to fix something?
Toby, in response to their attorney's letter, and I don't know what it says.
Yeah.
But if they're threatening some sort of countersuit action against you,
but the contract says we can terminate with a 90-day
well,
written
I
notice.
understand that, but, a counterpoint to them would be, great, you guys don't wanna do the work, here's the contract rental amount,
Well, we get,
we'll take responsibility, but this is what you're gonna pay. And as soon as you tell them to put their money where their mouth is, they're gonna walk away and leave you alone.
They already have.
Well, no, they haven't if they've fired a shot across the bow from an attorney.
Well,
Yeah.
You know,
Well-
it's.
Well, I'd like to at least meet with them and see if we can recoup any of these, the money for any repairs. I
Have our
still think
lawyer-
it's worth a meeting of our board, their board, and our councils to see if they can't get back in here, at least can they take care financially of some of these this damage.
And do you have any right to file a lien against them,
Yeah, I don't know.
you know, for their future contributions?
Or,
whatever?
yeah, should they put an escrow fund in for repairs and damages?
Exactly.
You know, these are all things that still can be considered.
I mean, I understand the emotion, I really do, but if you can find your way to taking some of that heat out of it and approaching it in a way that could benefit the town, well, we don't really care if it benefits them, but if you could recoup some money, work something out, get something back out of them, or go forward with them paying you to maintain it. You know, if they're paying for it and we're taking care of it, then
We're
we're
taking
doing
care of
it
it
the
right.
way we want
Yeah.
it to be done.
But what kind of price tag can you put on it to maintain it whenever they do $20-some thousand worth of damage to backstop in one swoop because of negligence? There was one of their guys, and I was told this, I wasn't there, secondhand information. I heard that one of their guys was standing right there when they put those banners up and told them that they didn't have enough air holes in them, that they could not put those banners up there because it was gonna bend that fence over, and they did it anyway. You know, that to me is, it's nothing but greed. Beck's probably gave them a hell of a donation, so they're gonna fly Beck's name out there no matter what damage they do to our property, and then they're gonna walk away and leave it. And I don't appreciate them putting the kids at risk by going ahead and playing ball out there with the damn pipes hanging up there, dangling off that chain link fence falling. And they eventually come down, whether they finally went up and took them down or they fell, I don't know. They fell? See,
Luckily, nobody was there.
you know, that's the thing. You know, that's my point, and they were told about it. They were asked to fix it. You know, they were obviously aware of it, and I just neglected it. I don't want people like that around on town property, because I'm sitting in a position that I'm supposed to be protecting the best interest of this community, and you got people like that we're going to allow to come back after they've already shown they've shown their true colors to me. That's the way I feel about it. I don't feel comfortable, and I think we're putting the town at a liability and a risk if we bring them back.
And again, it's just, you know, to Pam's point, even if you could get everyone together, show them the facts, and try to either recoup something or clear this up so that they don't have any hold over you again, because if they tie you up legally, you may not be able to enter into another contract with another party for this ball diamond.
Yeah,
You know, so you have to, well, I don't wanna tell you what to do, but if you can, you know, somehow approach them, get your councils together, get the boards together, and, you know, throw everything out there and say, hey guys, this is what you did, this is what, you know, you haven't done, this is where we are, you need to make us whole, and we're canceling your contract.
well, they're not gonna tie us up, because they know that they're in the wrong,
probably
and there's so
have-
many documentations, and there's pictures and everything.
100
that-
photographs documenting this in 6 different videos I've made.
The problem with the law, John, is the law doesn't have anything to do with right and wrong. It has to do with interpretation. If they
Right.
get a lawyer or a judge that twists it the right way, and I don't know how deep their pockets are or how crazy their attorney is to do it pro bono, but they can, you know, make it real
Well,
unpleasant.
we can make them an offer that they have to refuse, if that's the route we want to go. But I think we at least need to make that offer and let them refuse it.
It will
If the
make your
contract-
position much stronger.
Is the contract binding or is it not?
Well, we had an attorney said it was once, and then it
That's
wasn't.
what I'm saying.
So,
Well,
Well,
again,
it's
I'm
a
not
week,
lawyer,
it's a
Toby,
week
but
contract.
Yeah, it
all-
is, very weak.
it is all about interpretation.
And they get the right lawyer and he interprets it a certain way.
Well, all I'm saying is, and I'm gonna shut up because I'm getting tired of talking about it.
Well,
And I'm gonna say this, I am not in favor of the kids not having a place to play ball. I am in favor of not letting kids go up there and play ball if they're gonna have something fall on them and paralyze them for the rest of their life.
and I think everyone in
Okay?
this room
That's
agrees
where
with
I
that.
stand. I want the folks out there to know, when you go home tonight, I want you to remember that. That's where I'm at.
Duly noted.
I make a motion that our lawyer sends their lawyer a letter asking the board to meet us at 6 o'clock at our next meeting.
Not 6 o'clock, because that's when the RDC's meeting.
Oh, that's right.
Let's meet at a regular board meeting where people are
Meet
communicating.
at the regular board meeting so everybody
absolutely,
can
don't
be here and we can talk
They won't
and
set foot in
we
here,
have the
I'll tell you
whole
that.
board
You watch that.
for Orange up here at the meeting, not just Steve, because I believe.
And if their board doesn't show up completely, or their attorney doesn't show up with them, then we're washed.
Yeah, because I believe that there's a lot of hearsay coming from all different sides and no communication with us.
It's coming from one side, Joe, to get that straight.
I
Our side is
know.
not from both sides, because I got facts and everything, I can take you right out there and
John-
walk through that and show you.
John, I understand, okay?
So,
I'm just
it's not coming from
stating
both sides.
other people are hearing stuff and they're not hearing it from us directly.
So is your motion,
So my motion is that our attorney sends their attorney a letter that we would like to meet with the entire board at our next council meeting.
And their
November
counsel.
14th?
Well, it's their board.
Well, their counsel is, I mean,
Their
their legal
Their
counsel.
legal counsel also, and ours will be there too.
Okay. So there's a motion.
Motion on the table.
I'll second that motion.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed?
Aye.
Okay, we have 3 in favor and 2 opposed. Motion carries.
There's just too much baloney going on, and it's not on our part.
Yeah,
But
it is.
it's
the
just the
board's part.
hearsay that we hear
Well,
on
let's-
the other part,
Let's
and
fry some of that bologna up and have a sandwich.
that's right. Let's take care of it.
I didn't mean to get snappy with you. It's just, this has been a real
It's been
I know it's
heartbreaking
been a
thing
touchy
since this
subject.
whole thing started.
But we have to
And people's
remember
emotions are running
too,
pretty
there's
high.
and I
kids involved.
I don't want
Yeah.
the kids to be in danger, but there's kids involved. This is for the kids. As my dad used to say, play nice in the sandbox, or get out of the sandbox.
And it's also teamwork, and if the captain isn't talking to the rest of the team,
You gotta
I mean,
play
Kinda like
you've
we
got
all
one
work as a
guy that
team.
you guys have dealt with, the rest of them may not know, other than what he has told them.
right.
And like I said, I know Adrian Roach. He's a very good guy. I know that letter, but
You seen it?
yeah, but they said they
There you
sent it out. Some of the parents may not have got it. Some of the coaches may not have got it. It's easy to say I sent this, 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 and this, and they don't get it.
So it's been sent out to every parent and coach and all
Supposedly sent out, Johnny.
email.
But who is disseminating it?
And who, you know, the people that did receive it, why didn't we hear any response from them if they're so interested in their organization? You know, I know some of them got it because I got it from one of the Anvex Orange parents. That's where it came from. That's where I got it. He damn sure didn't send it to me or any of us.
Yeah.
Not one of us would have received it or known he was running around saying this stuff about us.
Well, like I said, it's time to get it cleared up. It's time to put it on the table. And
I thought it
either-
was cleared up when we voted, giving her 90 days.
We did give them their 90 days.
Then
We
you
also
turn around and
said
rescind
that
it, so
wanted
we
to
didn't.
talk- No, we
You just
haven't.
rescinded the vote.
We
You
changed
just
our mind.
rescinded the vote we voted on.
More or less.
Wasn't rescinded, they just-
We didn't
Well,
rescind it, we
and-
just
and
want
the
to
way I
have a
see it, it
discussion
is.
to work, because we don't want to, you know what?
It's all right.
Read
It's
the
all right.
letter from the attorney and let's try to, it's for the kids, guys. Yes, there's safety concerns. Yes, they're
You know-
only hearing one part of the story.
You know, I'm getting tired of saying it's just for the kids. There's not a living person here that has never said it is not for the kids. We are all in agreement saying it's for the kids.
Right,
I'm just simply taking one step further and saying it's for the kids to be safe.
that's right.
Okay,
I
don't leave
agree.
that word safe out.
Hey, it's for the kids to be safe,
That's
but it
what it's
also it's for the
That's my point.
adults to learn to work together and get along, and we need to do this. Yes, I agree, there's a lot of things they haven't done, but there's probably a lot of things they don't know about. They're only hearing one side. They probably haven't gotten anything. If their attorney has contacted our attorney and he sent it to us, their attorney's gonna have to send it to them and say, hey, they want us to meet on such and such a date and be here.
Keep in mind that every little league and baseball league has a council, board members, whatever. I don't know how many years I did that, but if something like that was going on down here, you can't tell me that